Bonjour everyone, we've just had the absolute privilege of coming out of Eddie Howe's press conference after the 2-0 defeat to Atlético Madrid. Back to back, 2-0 defeats. The women, first of all, the men, second of all. Cellar Cup presentations for both of the Madrid sides there, and Newcastle don't retain the Cellar Cup. Gutted with that one.
Devastated.
And overall, a really difficult pre-season for Newcastle. We're getting to what Eddie Howe said in a minute. We'll get into some Malick Thiaw transfer news. We've got to hear how we go. Obviously, we've been speaking to Keith inside there as well from Sky. He's been putting it all out that it is an agreement's been in principle, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's just quickly wrap up pre-season, Keg, before the season starts next Saturday against Aston Villa at Villa Park. 0 wins for Newcastle in pre-season.
Yeah, 2 draws and about 5 losses or something like that, however many that was.
It hasn't been great, has it? It hasn't been great.
It's not been great. Even just a scrappy 1-0 against the K-League or something like that, or Celtic or something.
Even
like
holding
that.
on last night to beat Espanyol.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been great. I always stand by pre-season not really being about wins. I feel like if you're perfect in pre-season, then you haven't really got much more to grow on. I feel like defeats kind of show your weaknesses, which is a good thing that you can learn, or it makes you realise what you need to do.
Yeah.
So I take, obviously a win's nice. Obviously I'm not saying that it doesn't matter about losing, it does. It's not great for a fan. But yeah, I feel like if you're perfect in pre-season, then you haven't got anything to develop and anything grow on. You don't really want to be in mid-season form in pre-season.
No.
You want to grow on that, and we've proven there's a lot to grow on.
We've proven
there's a hell of a lot to grow on.
Yeah.
But yeah, them weaknesses have been exposed, and the club need to know now what to do to improve them at this time in 7 days.
Sign some bloody players.
Yeah, by the time Aston Villa comes around, a couple of signings would be nice. As you said, we've got one should hopefully be through the door in the next 48 hours. 1 or 2 maybe hopefully kind of at the midway point next week, but it's still a little bit late. I mean, you would have liked them in earlier. Transfer business was meant to get done early. Alanga was done pretty early, and there should have been 2 or 3 immediately after him. But it's been an awful summer.
It has,
and pinpointed by these pre-season losses. Hasn't been fun.
It's funny because Eddie Howe was funny in his press conference. I tell you what, being again in close company with Eddie Howe, we've been there once or twice before, but it's been a while since the last time in the press conference with him, or even being in his company again, and he's just an absolute joy. I mean, he is class, when you're with him there and you're in the room with him, the way he represents the club, but also just his character, the way he's laughing off things, laughing off challenges, but also the seriousness and the professionalism that comes with it. He just absolutely nails it. He's just such an impressive bloke, to be honest with you. A great character, and obviously we know his managerial skills are there to match. But the funny thing was some of the things he said in terms of when he was asked about, is this your most difficult summer ever? Because last summer you said it was. Back then,
last summer was a piece of cake.
A piece of cake last summer. He says this is definitely.
It was an awful summer last summer, but it was a piece of cake.
That was a piece of cake compared to this one. He said, this one's obviously had the worst, most stressful time ever for him with the whole Isak situation, which again dominated the press conference there. Questions on Alexander Isak, and he was asked about some clarification on last night, because remember he was only in here not long ago,
not 24 hours ago.
Yeah, not even that. He was in here answering questions on Isak's future, and we added the video earlier, and people were in the comments. I've seen them saying, he's not on strike, or he didn't refuse. People have interpreted it different ways, so he was asked in there,
for a bit of clarification.
What did you mean? He was there, I thought I made it perfectly clear. And then again, there was a good bit of back and forth there, a good bit of laughter. And I honestly thought he made it clear. I didn't misinterpret that at all last night as him saying that it was his choice to not play Isak. I think it was pretty clear for me anyways, that it was Isak's choice not to train or play. And again, he said today, if it was up to me, he would be playing. If it was up to me, Eddie Howe saying this, he would be training. So again, that shows you it's Isak who's saying he doesn't want to train, he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Because Eddie Howe wants him to play and wants him to train.
Yeah, he was kind of asking people to read between the lines a little bit, and I think the way I kind of interpreted it is that it might be kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because yes, it does sound like Isak doesn't want to train. And Eddie Howe said that he does want them to train, but I think that was kind of sprinkled with a little bit of he can't let him train because of the way that he's gone on, and obviously he doesn't want to affect the rest of the players. So I think part of it is that Eddie Howe doesn't want them to train for that aspect, but he does want them to train because obviously he wants them there. He wants them to be a part of the future and to be a part of the squad. So that's kind of how I interpreted it. So there is like a kind of two things are kind of true in one sense. Like, yeah, I think Isak is refusing to train, and also Eddie Howe isn't letting him train, but does want him to train. Like it is a bit of like a confusing thing. I think that's why there wasn't as much like clarification on it. And like Craig Hope did ask him twice to clarify it, and then he was like, I think I made it perfectly clear last night, Craig.
Because he doesn't want, because Eddie's professional and he respects Isak and stuff, he wants to remain that way. He said it wouldn't be fair to either party if I did kind of come out and state, oh yeah, he is refusing. He said, kind of get what I'm saying here, but I can't say it because I don't want to be
put it in black and white,
disrespectful. He doesn't want to be disrespectful. And it was funny, he was pushing it again, and then someone's phone was ringing, and he was like, oh, let that phone ring.
Saved by the bell.
Good timing. And he was just going around about it and not really committing to that matter, but he was saying, you know, Isak, he can't force him to play. If it was up to him, he would have him play, he would have him train. And then he was asked about his future, you know, what can you say to him to make him stay? Can you have a chat with him and change his mind so he wants to play Aston Villa next week? And he said it was that easy. Or we've already done that. So again, he's tried. If you read between the lines there, he's trying to have that conversation with Alexander Isak, where he's trying to say to him, "We need you to play. We want you to play. We want you to train." But again, Isak's just refusing without him saying he's refusing, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Obviously, without saying it, obviously not trying to chuck anyone under the bus. I think like it is respectful to Alexander Isak. He doesn't want to make him look like a dick. Basically.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Like, he's trying to be like ethical about it. I think some managers, like maybe like a Mourinho or something, would be like, I just want to train. Like,
Simeone,
Simeone would just be out black and white and just be like, look, he doesn't want to train, so whatever. Like, get away, I'll sell you, whatever. Like Fergie would have probably booted him or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's trying to be like diplomatic about it and like respectful to all parties. And I think the squad as well, like, because I think like if he said something that was a bit damaging towards Isak, it might have also been a little bit damaging towards the rest of the squad as well. And like he doesn't want to let the team down and like other people, like the fans, down. So I think like it is a hard job. I was sat there during that press conference thinking, I would hate your job. Like this has got to be the worst part of being a football manager, because he was getting pelters.
Yeah, he was.
He was getting asked some really difficult questions by some of the local journalists, and which is obviously their job as well.
But I tell you what, normally they do get under a lot of scrutiny and stuff, the journalists online a lot of the time saying, oh wait, asking that question for, why are you not asking this? And I thought today it was brilliant, it was much better.
Some really good questions.
Some really solid
Tough
questions
ones.
by Craig Hope, by George Colkin, by Charlie Bennett, some really good questions there that did ask what fans want to hear. You know, Charlie at the end there saying, how important is it about a CEO and a sporting director that hasn't been in place this summer, and how much have you missed them, how much have you missed Amanda, and that sort of thing. And Eddie Howe said, you know, he wants those people in those positions, but it hasn't necessarily been the reason why we've missed out on transfers. He says it's down to money and Newcastle not being able to offer the best wages. Yeah,
it also hasn't stopped it either. I think one of the questions was like, has like the lack of a CEO and sporting director made the club look more like less attractive to people that may come in and those that we've lost out on? And he said, no, not necessarily. I think like the club should just sell itself in a way. So it's kind of like, again, that's kind of a bit of one and a bit of another. Like, we do miss them, but that's not the reason. Like, although while on one hand it could help, certainly it would help to have those positions in. Like, Definitely. It would make things a lot smoother and may have kind of pushed things over, but it's also not the reason why things haven't getting done. Like, players haven't looked at like, oh, yeah, I've got a sporting director, I'm not going to heaven. Like, that's not the way that it works now.
And Eddie Howe throughout that press conference, I thought, was really good in handling the questions as per usual, but he was on fine form. There was talks the other week that he was stressed and everything. I thought today he looked in good spirits. Maybe he does know that Malick Thiaw is on his way, and he does know that hopefully a few signs are coming, because he was asked on that. Obviously he couldn't say anything on Thiaw because at the minute he's still an AC Milan player. He's not going to say that. We'll talk about that in a second on Thiaw. And then he was also asked, you know, is he confident in the ability to bring in a few more players before the window ends, and even next week against Villa? And he was saying, well, I hope so. He's got a number in his head of how many players he wants, but he's obviously not going to unveil that information as well. But, you know, he said everyone's working hard behind the scenes to try and get the signs in that we need, because, again, he said that the squad was unbalanced today and lacking of depth in a way.
Yeah, I mean, that's clear to see. I mean, I don't think he really could have came out and said, like, oh yeah, squad's top notch.
Brilliant. Won loads of games pre-season.
Everything's got the plans.
Everything's rosy.
But he says he is happy with the squad's fitness levels. There's like you feel like everyone's back to full fitness. Obviously, minutes were managed this weekend for Lewis Hall and Sven Botman coming off at half times in the games that they started over the weekend. So that was planned just to get some 90 minutes into them. He says fitness levels are great for both of them two players and the rest of the squad, so he's happy in that regard. But yeah, he's fully aware that the depth isn't there. Obviously, it's been a bit of a busted summer transfer window, so he's not particularly happy, although he didn't say I'm not happy with the depth of the squad, but that's like reading between the lines, that was the intent of what he was saying. So he's fully aware that we need more players. He did say that we are active and we are looking, we're in the market.
Trying.
He did admit that we are trying and that there is some players on the horizon, but that's something else that he couldn't just say. Yes, we're going to get 3 players.
Yeah.
We're going to get 4 players.
Tell you what, Malick will be here tonight.
Yeah.
Thiaw's coming from Milan tonight. Whistle will be here Tuesday, and then hopefully Samu from Porto's here by Villa.
Yeah, that's another thing, that if there was any controlling, it would already be done by now.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
There may be 3 or 4 targets, but how well have the targets panned out for us so far? Something could happen, something could not, something could fall through. So just got to keep working, keep identifying these targets, get aggressive, put some bids in, and try and get a few players over the line, because we are getting to them desperate weeks now. Obviously, the season starts this time next week.
Scary.
So yeah, it's really scary.
Pretty scary. Wait, Villa as well, really tough game.
And without a striker as well, because I think about guaranteed that Isak isn't going to play that game. If he stays, he ain't playing against Villa.
Nah.
So our only striker is Osula.
Yeah.
Gordon's played down the middle for the last couple of games, but he went off with, I think he said, twisted ankle today.
Yeah. Eddie Howe did say he hopes he's going to be okay, so that's good news. Because there was a worry from the press box there that when he went off it was looking a bit sketchy, but Eddie Howe said he should be alright, hopefully. But like you said, Osula in pre-season, he's shown he's not quite the one to lead the line.
Yeah, Sean Neve hasn't stepped up.
Nah, I think Worcester will get done next week. I really hope so.
In time to play against Villa?
I hope so, but again, it's a waiting game. We're waiting for Brentford to sign Ochoa from Bournemouth, aren't we, before they allow Worcester to leave. But anything else we've missed out from any of these press conferences? That was good.
He did kind of confirm the Willock's going to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
He said he went for scans and the scans were good, but he says I hope to have him back within the next few weeks. He didn't confirm a timeline, but he did say a few weeks. So whether that's 2, 3, 4 weeks, we don't know. But he's obviously certainly going to be out for at least probably the first 2 games at the very least. So that's something that we can confirm today. Any other little bits? I think there was so many funny bits there.
I've kind of forgot.
An interesting one, yeah.
There's some funny bits there, but what we'll talk about now then is that Malick Thiaw signing that is supposedly very close to happening. We had reports earlier from Italy, Romano and that, saying that Thiaw was coming on a £35 million deal. Keith Downey from Sky and the UK reports have now confirmed that, and a medical is expected to take place in the next couple of days. So the 24-year-old?
Yesterday
he's 24.
Happy birthday, Malick Thiaw.
Happy birthday, Malick. Well to the tune, hopefully. You celebrate the stack very soon. Fleet Street, actually. Fleet Street. Thiaw coming in, that much needed centre back we've been chasing for a while.
Yeah.
German international, Sandro's ex-teammate from Milan.
Yeah.
Solid signing for you. Is that the right answer at centre back position?
I mean, it is a position that we needed, and he was someone that we kind of targeted last summer as well, in the Gahey backup role. I think we confirmed about 3 or 4 potential replacements if things didn't go well for Gahey, but we didn't get anyone. We haven't really shown much interest in that position. There's been rumours and stuff of going back in for Gahey, and Scalvini was linked, and there was a few others mentioned. But I don't think any bids have gone in, any kind of real concrete actual from the club. Reported rumours and journalists and stuff have reported that they're interested in this player, that player. But yeah, nothing's actually really been any concrete. So yeah, if this is the guy that they want, and I think it's a good fee, because we've been
really good fee
priced at
this day and age,
60, 70 million for players. So we're getting someone who's just turned 24. It's a good age. He's still got that experience in a good league. Caps for his national team as well. So when you look at that depth, we've got Shaw, but outside of that we've got Lascelles, who played today and played all right, but he's injury prone and getting on a little bit. And then behind that you've got Emil Kraft, who's a fullback really, not a centre back. So it is important that we get this depth. Whether he's going to start ahead of Shaw or not, I don't know, and quite frankly right now don't care. I'm quite happy with Fabian Shaw. I've got absolutely no problems with Fabian Shaw. But yeah, this depth is super important. So yeah, it's a really good signing. I'm happy with it. It's one we've been after for a while. You mentioned Gahey last summer. It feels like we've been trying to get a centre back over the line for quite
a while now. So I tell you what, I'm just pleased to get it. I'm pleased to get a new signing through. It feels like it's been ages since Alanga got signed. Ramsdale's came in on loan. So to get that priority position that we've looked at for a while, because with Champions League coming up, you've got Shaw and Byrne who've been outstanding, but they are also, touching mid-30s. So in this day and age, in this game that's so fast-paced, European games, 2 games a week, to get Chow in, who has that Champions League experience, has a little bit of international experience. I think it's 3 or 4 caps for Germany. But, he's a promising talent, and it must be one that Eddie Howe wants. It's one that's been on the shortlist for a while, as you said. We've scouted him for a couple of years. So that's just the process. Listen, the signings we've made so far have all but smashed it, to be honest. So Chow, like Tonali coming from Milan, hopefully kicks on and does well.
Absolutely sure that he will. But it is just kind of good to tick this one off the list so we can move on, because I think it's clear that we need at least another centre mid, a little bit of centre mid depth there, because we're obviously without Willock being available outside of our starting 3, we've got no depth apart from Lewis Miley. Target played,
scored
in midfield.
There's your
answer. There you are. You get Target back from Korea. And obviously today, I think it kind of rotated a little bit. I think Kieran Trippier was lined up to start in centre mid, but I think we've seen a little bit more of Harrison Ashby. So I think that kind of goes to show you that there's no depth there at centre mid, so that Sean Longstaff replacement's important. And obviously at least 1 striker, 2 if Isak goes. So just getting Chow ticked off, another centre back, done and dusted. Move on from that now. It's no longer a priority target. Same as what right winger and goalkeeper's been. They're done now, so we can move on and kind of go down the list of needs.
Sort out the Isak saga and the striker search, please, as soon as possible before the Premier League season kicks off next week. Right then, that'll do. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Smash a like on this one, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy yourself.